only beef with that is that I don't feel like I needed to do that necessarily. Because I needed personal
Wait, your only beef is what?
like where the drums pick up, like they're too okay, you'll understand this perfectly. They are too Ryan Leslie and Macklemore.
Oh,
them shits just jump right in and like you're like, nah, stay in the pocket of the violin a little bit more. I could have got another 8 bars of that violin, little like a rim shot in there, a little snap over it. Shouts to whoever made the beat.
This one is Distant Fires. I always write it. I don't know if they write Distant Fires is from Slipstream. I got that one from Slipstream. We just have to shout them out and we're allowed to use that as an intro. So I have it every week. I lay it down really in the description of the episode.
Shouts to Slipstream and Distant Fires.
Yeah.
So,
guys,
I enjoy conducting it.
Yeah, it is fun.
I'm glad we didn't tell the guy like, hey, can you take out the violin at the start, like MJ to
I was gonna say
Quincy.
The perfect segue. The perfect segue king right here.
So what happened to the violin, Quincy? You hear it on the radio, right? It's in.
That was a deep 3. So for those of you who don't know, Quincy Jones said in an interview with a Canadian interview.
Ian Hannamansing.
Yeah, Canadian interview.
Trini.
Yeah. And he was talking about the fact that when he did, is it Rock With You?
No, it's not Rock With You. It's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Don't Stop.
That's the intro.
And how he's the violins, and it's MJ who asked to pull the violins.
Yeah, pull the violins at the start.
At the start.
Oh. He wanted him to take out that.
MJ tried to get him to pull that, and Quincy was just like,
"Listen to your producers.
Yeah,
shut up, boy."
Quincy was just like, "No." But also take into consideration, by the time Quincy is working with Michael Jackson, he has already worked with Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. He's worked with all of the Rat Pack and 50s and big band, and he's done bossa nova stuff. He's done so much. He's considered one of the best producers already by the time he gets to Michael in the 70s, 80s. And Michael's telling him,
talking about violins.
But
bro, if you don't.
But what's even funnier is like if you go back to how Quincy talks about how Michael didn't really ask him to do the production on the album. He was just like, "Hey, Michael, what you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to go solo." He's like, "Yeah, you should, man. That's really awesome." He's like, "Quincy, can I ask you something?" "Yeah, anything." So Quincy's gassed up. He's thinking Michael's gonna ask him to produce his first album. "Do you know anyone that can produce my album?"
But okay, I will give it credit though. You know, when you're young and you're too scared to ask something directly, you might try and sugarcoat around. You know what I mean?
But I don't know if that was the judo flip move to get him to pull him in, or he was just legit like, who do I go to?
I would think that Michael was playing more the game of like, "Hey, you very talented genius of a producer who knows everything and everyone that is in the scene and in the know. I'm too scared to ask you outright, would you do this thing for me? But I would take any recommendation you have because you are by far one of the most talented and best producers in the world." So I'm sure it was kind of like Quincy being like, "Who's this thing he is? Of course I would do it. I'm not going to recommend somebody. You come to the man who knows the best. Why would I recommend someone else to do the job?"
Not just that, but like also if Michael was really trying to like, if he really didn't know, like, no offense, at this point, Berry Gordy's your uncle by marriage. Diana Ross is kind of like your kind of best friend or some kind of shit. Like,
I guess some people say in their head canon they might have dated.
You can talk to mad people who's been with really good producers. Like, you know what you're doing talking to Quincy. Be like,
you just floating around Motown for a while. Yeah. And then you sort of kind of produced your brother's last 2 albums on Sony. I think a lot of people don't know that he worked his butt off on those 2, and he was like, "I want to do my own thing." Like I don't want to be saddled with with the Jacksons like that anymore.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing for sure.
But yeah, back to Quincy.
Back to Quincy. So, as many of you probably know, Quincy has sadly passed away in 2024, taking
91.
at the age of 91, taking another very important person from us in the Black community and the music community and the arts and the creative spaces. You know, I was listening to, I'm not even going to say the name. I don't remember which young artist, but this young artist who was talking about how, like, you know, songs don't even need like a bridge and a hook like that. You know, like, just give me a verse and a chorus, and I can repeat the verse and it'll be fine. And I remember thinking when they said that, like, oh, you just don't know yet. Like, you haven't been around long enough to know yet. Like, you're saying this, and don't get me wrong, you can have that opinion, but you're making it sound like you think music should be produced this way when you just got here. And all these other people have been doing this for a lot longer. And there's a reason that the songs have these structures. And I dare you to and the other thing that I always find important for people like that, which is to the point about Quincy and, you know, every other person that has passed in this year that we've talked about, that person that was talking is a music fan and decided they wanted to make music because of being a music fan. And you can't turn around and then say, well, you don't need these things that I fell in love with, and the reason I'm a fan of music and making music, we don't need them.
What are those key points of music? No.
Yeah.
Like, musicality? Nah, we don't need that.
But it would be like telling someone, it would be like if someone was a painter or wanted to be a painter and they said, I don't need blue. I don't need blue. Well, you guys have all this blue. I don't need blue to ever paint. You might not need blue, but I'll tell you, without blue as a core, and I don't just mean the color blue, I mean blue mixed with anything to make your purples, to make any of your other colors. You don't need blue. You're going to have a hard time trying to represent everything you want to represent. It's true. You can make it without blue, but guess what? You're going to be missing something. So do you, but
do you?
But other things Quincy Jones has done, he had a production company that made TV shows. So I think In the House was one of them. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
I think Will Smith talked about how I think the intro for the show wasn't the rap that him and DJ Jazzy Jeff came with. It was like his own thing. And it was like whatever he was doing, maybe 80s, like late 80s, mid 80s. And it didn't sound good. And
Yep.
Will didn't have the courage to tell Quincy that it wasn't good. So he played it for Jeff. Jeff's like, no, man. Like, he's like, I could probably make something. You got to tell Quincy it's bad. He's like, Quincy's giving me the job. I can't just tell him I can't just tell Quincy Jones, man, that has his song "Fly Me to the Moon" played on the radio, dude that just did "We Are the World." Like, I can't just tell him your song sucks.
Hey, but hey, dude, it's just not hitting. Sorry, man.
You know? So then, I think, you know, him and I think Jeff came up with something, and Will Smith rapped on it and stuff. And so he's like, just present that to him, just show it to him, get him to listen to it. So he gets him to listen to it. Quincy's all quiet, and he's like, "Whew, that's way better than whatever crap I made, man." Better, we'll roll with that. That makes sense. All right, cool.
That's great.
I respect and appreciate someone who can recognize when you get brought something better, you know, because a lot of people have big egos in the music industry, and I think that's one of the things that when you watch like that Quincy doc, that was it Rashida that made the Quincy doc, then when you watch the Godfather, the other one, Clarence's documentary. You get that sense of these people who got ahead because they would check their egos at the door and work with people and try and explain. Collaborate and try and explain to other people, hey, homie, leave your ego at the door. That's the reason I'm so successful, is not because I'm not it's not just because I'm very good at what I do. It's because I leave the ego at the door. The best joke or the best suggestion in the room gets on the tape. And that's how we live. And that's why I think people like Quincy are so successful and so fantastic, because everything they touched was a factor of collaborating with a lot of geniuses and being open to learning from a lot of people. So,
and I would definitely say check out the documentary Quincy and check out his music. Check out all the stuff he did. It's very varied. Like Doc said, it's bossa nova, it's jazz.
Yeah.
He worked with what's his name? Bitches Brew.
Miles
Davis. He worked with Miles
Yeah.
Davis. If you go and see the Don Cheadle movie, that he did that was about Miles Davis. Like Quincy shows up. What's the other dude's name? Herbie Hancock shows up in there. Like young versions of them show up. But yeah, like storied life. He helped out a lot of people. I think he was it him, if I remember right? Arsenio Hall was telling him about how to negotiate for his show and stuff like that, and residuals and all that kind of stuff, giving him a little bit of game so that when he goes and talks about his contract, he knows like, oh, I could say this and they would have to give it to me because I got the numbers, I got the numbers, I got the audience and all that kind of stuff. So he was always a person that would give people, give younger people like coming up and stuff, like info, help, just knowledge, just like, hey, if you're going to be a musician, you're going to travel the world, it's best to be bilingual in something else. So at least you can navigate, so that you can kind of say a few words and get around and stuff like that. So, he could be a multilingualist as well, or at least have a few phrases in the back pocket and stuff like that. So just a lot of knowledge to learn from. A person definitely to learn from, and a person that lived a very, could be hectic life, could be more somber life. He almost died from an overdose.
I mean, he lived an artist life. Let's be honest. Like when you look at it, if you look at his life on paper, you're just like, this is the life of a musician, an artist, a creator who lived well. And I say creator, and whenever I say it, I cringe a little bit because the idea that some of these creators on these influencers out there get to be in the same bracket as him when I use the word creator is crazy. So just so you understand, I'm gonna look y'all right in the camera. I'm gonna look at you right here. You creators out there, y'all are nothing like Quincy. Y'all don't mean nothing like Quincy. I'm not even trying to be mean. Quincy was up here when I say the word creator, and you guys are somewhere. I don't know, but there's not even a tier yet for what you're doing. I respect you, and you're doing good things, and you're entertaining people, but understand that you didn't get here off of nothing. People like Quincy did this, so you could run around in the playground.
And to live and experience an era where, he couldn't perform in the same rooms. He couldn't eat in the same rooms. And Frank Sinatra had to vouch for him and be like, yo, all right, you don't want him to be in the same room here because he's black? All right, well, I ain't performing.
And Frank Sinatra's best friend. That's it.
And Marilyn did it for Ella Fitzgerald too, right? Like, isn't there multiple stories like that where like there's fans like these, and this is what we talk about when we say the word ally, by the way. Like you marching down the street is cool. You being rich, famous, and telling the biggest hotels and the biggest venues in the world, listen, this is my fucking homie. We kicking it. Yeah, like they fam. They coming in. I'm coming in. They don't come in. Me and the crew ain't going nowhere near you. Like, and we and that's the thing. They were hot shit. That's the best
not just part. That, it's like we took your deposit, huh? We're taking the deposit. And Frank was like, "I'm gonna get my after show money too. But bet your ass I'm not performing."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Let my boy in, and that's God. That's a fun power to have.
Another ally story I've heard is Billy Crystal and Muhammad Ali.
So, I just heard, was it the one you heard on Conan this past week?
Conan, yeah.
I'll let you tell. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so basically, Billy Crystal does a good impression of Muhammad Ali. He did it in front of him, and like Ali loved him immediatately. So he calls him up. Ali calls him up and says, "Yo, come and run with me at this country club out in LA." And he's like, I can't. And he's like, "Why not? Like you don't run?" He's like, No, because I'm Jewish. That country club doesn't accept Jewish people. And he's like, "What? They let me run there all the time, and I'm Muslim." And so he stopped running there altogether.
Yeah, that was a wild story too, because when he told the story, I was just like, "Wait, they had country clubs that didn't let Jewish people in?" Like, I didn't know. Right. I did not, because especially when he's telling the story, him, a black Muslim, is allowed to run there.
Right. He's the champ. He is.
Yeah. I get it. I understand. I just didn't expect.
Kind of let it slide a bit.
I that's the thing. I didn't understand it as they're letting it slide to let him run there. I just understood it as they did allow people. It's only when Billy was saying how I had to explain to Muhammad Ali, like they don't let I can't because they don't let Jews in, and I was just like, wait a minute, they accept a black Muslim but not a Jew, and then I realized like, no, I get what it is. You're so famous. Yes, yeah, you're so famous and popular.
The boxing champ of the world running on our running.
You can't run here.
Yeah.
Sorry for those who can't see. It's him holding a fist because he's Muhammad Ali. You easily bat you down.
Or face this pretty, let me in your club.
That's another thing. I like, I'm happy that they decided not to go back, but I also like the idea. Like, I almost wish Muhammad Ali had been like, "Oh, Billy Crystal's coming to your club because I'm coming to your club," and I would love to have seen the one person, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, who would have come up to Muhammad Ali and Billy Crystal and been like, "Sorry, Mr. Ali, we unfortunately will not be allowed to." Assist you this evening, and Muhammad Ali being like, "Oh, you dirty rat! Yeah, we are gonna have to take this outside," and that would have been beautiful. Because
you would have the illest promo on that guy too. What?
You blonde, blue-eyed piece of doo-doo on the bottom of my shoe. I'll step all over you from here to the end of the world. It'll be a twirl. You'll see what's coming. It'll be me gunning. It would have been beautiful. I would have loved it. That was the most Ali impression you'll ever get. I apologize if it was bad.
Nice. No, that was good. You ran with it. You rhymed at least. You didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You held it down.
So we do want to say once again, RIP to Quincy. RP to many of the legends. I did feel that, Jaws, when you mentioned it, I wanted to jump to this because I felt like it almost fits when we talk about people and documentaries and people working on themselves and people being better. The Honorable Shyne, the trailer for his doc that's coming out in November. So for those of you who don't know, Shyne, the rapper, so I had to put I had to put this like girl at my work. Shout out to Claudia. I was telling her I was playing Bonnie and Clyde, and she's like, "What is that?" I'm just like, Bonnie and Clyde, but Bonnie and Shyne, and she's just like, "I don't know this track." I was just like, "It's okay. Like, I know I'm 41. I get it." She's just like, "No, I'm a hip hop head. Like, I love hip hop, but I want to know what this track is." So I sent her the track. I sent her a link to like his album on Spotify. She's just like, "Why don't I know about this guy?" I'm like, probably because he got sent to prison and only had, seen as like a one and done album, but I actually have both of his albums. And she was just like, yeah, she's like, who is Shyne?
Wasn't the big thing about it? I was like, why does he sound like Biggie?
Everybody sounded like Biggie. Remember what Cadillac Black? What was it, Cadillac Black? No, Gorilla Black.
Like Gorilla Black. Yeah.
Gorilla Black, Cadillac Black. Silly ass name. Anyway.
But I would say Shyne didn't really sound like Biggie as much as he just had a New York accent.
He held that pocket that people were missing for the deep kind of raspy voice.
Right.
Like this, but you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he felt it good. And I mean, his opening song with Barrington Levy, like, that's your single. I'm sorry, I don't care.
That was wild.
that shit was stupid. Yeah, right? Like, what was I, grade 7?
Needs more Toad. The Toad remake.
Who won with us? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Yeah, like,
oh, come on,
when we were, and then the trailer for the doc shows, Shyne blowing up, Bad Boys Big, him, Mace, Puffy pictures, holding it down, and then the whole Puffy J-Lo thing, and Shyne full on says in the trailer, "I got set up," and boy, that was you couldn't have timed releasing this documentary better because everything that's going on right now with Diddy is just like, we all know the shit's hitting the fan. It's hitting hard.
It was calculated.
I feel like they had it done in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going down? Throw it out.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, when I watched, because again, I still followed Shyne. I continued supporting his music after I listened to the tracks that he recorded from prison through a phone. I was one of those fans. I really liked Shyne as a rapper. I thought he was really good, really talented. I always thought the comparison with Biggie was unfair because it put him in, like Skinny was saying, he got put in kind of a box. Like, people wanted a Biggie replacement. So Shyne got signed to Bad Boy and got kind of put in that box to fit that need that people had, which, if anything, should have been assigned to us that Diddy was not a good person, because how are you going to lose Biggie and then turn around and be like, "Hey, take this guy. He sounds like him." And everyone's
no. How can you lose Biggie and then come out with a song just saying, "I miss my friend."
Yeah, no, forget
and with his
song.
wife singing the hook.
Forget song, just like whole ass album, and now you're like a whole thing, and then you got like All About the Benjamins is a big ass song, but it's kind of like you really thought that you could just all right, cool.
Yeah,
it's Milli Vanilliing without Milli Vanilliing, you know what I mean? Like when you're just that rich and cool. He's like,
remember the song on the album Pain? I wish this pain would go away.
Yeah, you could hate me now. Yeah, dude, I am, because you're not. No. You're paying all the underground rappers to write your stuff, but you won't let the underground rappers shine. What are you doing? Weird. Anyway.
So the documentary is coming out later this month. It's going to be available on Hulu. If you're in Canada, it's going to be on Stars, which is part of Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, so we get it, man.
Right. I would highly recommend people check out this documentary. If you're a fan of hip hop in the 90s and the 2000s, this documentary is probably going to be. It's going to connect because I feel like it's the epitome of the era of hip hop we watched, and seeing someone get thrown under the bus by somebody else and coming out the other end of it more confident and more proud of who they are as a person, finding themselves, finding their spirituality, their connection, and going on to be very successful. For those of you who don't know, Shyne is a politician in Belize. So, you know, like I knew that a while ago, and I always thought it was cool that he got to move on and do those things. So, I mean, I didn't get that third album where he's like full Orthodox Jewish, but because I felt a little weird. That one's a little. I was like, I was like, right. This feels a little Matis Yahoo right now, and I don't know how I feel.
Brian's all like, all right, this is where I get off.
I'll admit that is where I got off the bus. I got off the bus, but another one came, and then it was Politician Shyne. Politician Shyne, I can deal with.
I can get down with that train. But this
really orthodox Shyne made me feel uncomfortable because I was like, this feels like cultural appropriation, and we should not be doing this.
I think the only thing that I was a little bit annoyed with the trailer, but it's not even with the trailer. It's just one of the comments in the YouTube link was someone was saying like, "Oh, how come when he's talking with us, he has a New York accent, but when he's in Belize, he has a Caribbean accent?" And I was like, "Yeah, the code switch. Like, have you ever been to New York?
Not even just that.
Been to New York? What is wrong?"
Let's assume the person who wrote that is of the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant persuasion, because I feel like anyone Black, Indigenous, Latino, Caribbean, all of us know, like, we've heard our parents code switch or talk with one accent. Like, every one of us has heard our parents talking with the fam back home, and then talking to Janice, and then talking to Alice from work, and it goes from like, and then they picked it. Oh, no, Alice. It'll just be the files will be delivered tomorrow. Okay. Yes, tomorrow. Okay. I do have a call on the other line. I'll talk to you later. Anyways, so what may I say? And you're like, all right. Yes.
No, it's the best when they come back and they're like, "Yes, darling."
Yeah.
The yes, darling, and you're just like, wait, what? How did you wait?
I think the problem is that people think the code switching's for us. It's for you.
No, it's
for you. Everyone has a problem with our accent, and they just can't understand. And it's like, they gotta help
quote
you
unquote.
out,
quote unquote,
because you don't travel and you don't really interact with the natives. So let me just,
and the crazy part is you're so right. This is a complete sidestep, but I'll finish this thought. When the Shyne doc drops, we'll definitely be covering it. I'm definitely excited to talk about it, so we'll see you all there. Just real quick, though, I want to acknowledge the fact that it's not a factor of the accents are difficult to understand. They're lazy, because I was with a coworker who's Latina recently, who speaks English but has a thick Latina accent when she speaks, and I can understand what she's saying, but there are some people that will look at me like, I don't, what did she say? And I'm like, why are y'all acting like you don't understand? Just listen to the words that she's saying. It's not that hard.
The words are in English.
Yes. She's not.
I know for me, it's, I think a lot of more maritime English accents I can't understand. So like thick Newfoundland accents I can't understand. thick Irish accents I can't understand, and probably Welsh,
like Gaelic, Welsh. Yes,
that stuff is like really, and it's like you really need to be in
Scottish,
that culture to understand, how they're cutting around the corners or adding stuff or stuff that's more local to them, and they'll throw in that.
I will 100% give you that. I will.
Bayesian, thick Bayesian accents, really, really.
Oh yeah, Asian boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
But like
Gotta
for
bend
most
the ear
of the,
bit.
yeah, but like when I guess for me it's just when I think of like the Latin languages that like French, Spanish, Portuguese, when they're speaking English, they usually learn English from like from television and stuff combined with books. So the accents they're kind of mimicking sounds more similar to ours than the Welsh, the Gaelic, the Maritime. So I guess that's more. You're right though. That is fair. That there are definitely there's definitely English accents that are intense. But shout out to the people that learn it from different places. Like I met this girl once when I was at Concordia, whose English accent was Australian. Because she learned English in Australia, but spoke Quebec French, and that was always awesome.
Yeah. That makes sense. Cool. I could see that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Wait, she's good looking.
Yeah.
That's a Margot Robbie type thing. That's
a Margot Robbie.
That's my Toronto accent. If you want to.
Yeah. That's
a Margot Robbie thing.
Type thing. That. Do you okay? I know we don't usually talk sports, but did you guys see the Drake comments about DeRozan's?
I heard he has some kind of beef, but I didn't see the comments. Something about he's going to take down his jersey.
The only thing I know is that because DeRozan showed up in "They Not Like Us" music video.
Yes.
Now Drake sees him on the court and he has a certain way. He feels a certain way about it.
Well, yeah, everybody was in that video. Yes,
and it's just he was in the video and the pop-up show.
Oh, he was on the stage?
He was on the stage.
Bro, it's everybody's on the stage. Fair game.
No, well, I don't get me wrong. You can be upset with that person for being on the stage at a show. I get it. They performed the song 5 times. I get it.
That's disrespectful.
That's where he's from. He's not from Toronto.
That's the thank you. Jaws said it.
From Toronto.
If you won us a championship, there's some kind of, at least people like me who are softies expect some kind of loyalty to a team that got you a championship, aka ring and a lot of money.
Was DeRozan still on the team when they? I know.
He got them the championship, and they said, "Okay, bye."
Wait, that's DeRozan? I thought that was. Hold on,
that's him. The guy at the last minute 3-pointer got him to the finals, and then they beat. Yeah, that's him. And then he left for the Clippers. That's the nigga.
No. The other guy.
You're thinking of
Leon.
Hold on, the dude with the great laugh.
That's not DeMar DeRozan?
No, that's not him. That's not him.
No, you should hold on. Brian will find it faster.
We're all looking it up.
I know. Sorry, y'all.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yes. So then who's
Kawhi Leonard is the one that was there but DeRozan is an important player. He, from what I understand, he's like broken records while he was in Toronto. He is one of our most important.
When the
Toronto's
happened.
I'm sorry.
Was he there when the championship stuff happened and all that?
No, I'm pretty sure he left. If I'm not mistaken, DeRozan might have been on the team and got traded before they got to the championship. But he might have been there the same year. I'd have to check.
Okay, so if he was there longer than Kawhi Leonard, equally reason that he gets the shots too.
Okay, let me take a look. How
many years was he in Toronto?
Yeah, that's what I'm checking right now. DeMar, he was there until he was on the Raptors till 2018, so the year before the championship, right?
And then he got there when?
He got there 2009, so he was there for 9 years.
Roy, if you don't stop dancing on the stage, listen.
I get it.
Don't let me see you doing "Skip to My Lou" with Kendrick if you've been there for like 9 years.
I get what you're saying. Okay, go ahead, Jones.
I'm going to say this. Vince Carter, franchise player of the Toronto Raptors for the longest time.
Yeah.
Gets traded, comes back to play in Toronto. Toronto fans boo him constantly and consistently. Like, this guy's giving you all of his good years and you just shit on him.
Yeah.
And he never talked bad about Toronto at all. And it's only now they retired his jersey and Toronto got over themselves. And now because they have a championship, they have to look good in front of the world and everything. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Jaws is dusting off his suit for those of you listening to this.
Really,
no need to be petty. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When I think of Vince Carter, I think of Raptors jersey. I don't think of any other team he got traded to.
Facts. I could not name another team he's played for.
Man.
And again, I say all this.
Grizzlies?
I say all this knowing full well we are not a sports podcast.
Yeah.
And you can tell
my bad.
We don't follow this. But we respect these players and what they've done for Toronto and Canadian basketball, because without Toronto doing as well as it's done, Canadian basketball doesn't get a big boost the way it did, and we don't get a team. We don't get multiple B and C league teams. We don't get a Canadian basketball league that has Canadian teams. We don't get like 2 Montreal basketball teams in different leagues. Which I still don't. One's an owl and one's a wolf logo. I don't even know which is which half the time.
Just get me those fitteds. If y'all got fitted, send them.
I know. I've been trying to get it fitted. Anyways, but all that to say, basketball in Canada grows and grew specifically because of the Raptors doing as well as they did in the country, in the league, and we appreciate every player that's played on the team.
And when they leave.
RP Grizzlies, yeah.
RP Grizzlies, yeah.
There's a documentary on Crave if you guys want to check it out that talks about why they left.
Wait, they're gone?
Like, they're in Memphis. They're in Memphis, but but there's a documentary about when they were Vancouver and when they left. All that to say, Drake saying he would pull down DeMar DeRozan's jersey from the Raptors, from the rafters, sorry, if it ever got if he ever got his jersey retired. I gotta say, felt a little petty. I get being upset, but the man, once again, without people like him, we wouldn't even have the type of team that Drake would care about. You know what I mean? Like Drake, no offense to Drake, but I don't see Drake supporting the Raptors at the same level as he does now had they not become a actual contender in the league. Because is it good for your brand if you're from Toronto to support a team that just isn't winning? I'm just saying, I don't think so.
No, I think he was kind of there from a long time, even though they were fucking. So but again, the whole thing is that song wasn't just aimed at that Drake individual. It was aimed at as people perceive Toronto Canadians as a whole. So anything that Drake represents, which includes the Raptors, is my people skipping the loo on a stage in arms, doing "They not like us, they not like us, they not like us."
I don't see it that way.
I know you don't see it that way, but Drake as Petty King will see it that way.
That's the title. Drake as Petty King is title, though.
No, I mean, there's a few quotes from social studies that should be the title that I got to tell you about.
We're gonna jump into that.
We'll get to that, but we got to segue into that soon. But I mean, listen, if you're out here and you're going to be talking about me in my city and I'm, you're out. I'm sorry, dude. No,
I get, I
you could have gone to the concert. You could have even been in a video. I don't want to see you skipping to the loo on stage. I'm sorry. I know you got into the moment. I know you felt like a little mama and Jay-Z on the stage. You had to feel like you had to get up on there. But just remember.
Yeah, but no one shoved him out. No one was vexed at him on the stage. No one was side-eyed at him and then blackballed him from basketball forever.
Just remember, you spent 7 years on a Toronto team.
9
years. You ate our food, bro. You were out here with the street meat, which is terrible. You were eating all that. You know what I mean?
Just like a Montrealer.
He slept with someone in Toronto.
Talk about Toronto. I didn't poop on him, but I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to say this. Drake is no Mike Myers, who's been repping the Buds, repping the Maple Leafs till the day he dies. Always at their games. They always interview him like, hey, I'm just here, just chilling. Can't interfere with the game because there's, glass.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. But anyway, so, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens the day they retire that jersey. I look forward to that day because people will definitely be talking about, is Drake going to show up?
Hey, Drake, you're going to go up there? You're going to go up there? You're going to climb up that whole thing? You're going to climb the whole thing?
Well, we know by the time they actually retire it, we know Drake and him are going to patch things up.
No, they won't.
Are they still be the brand ambassador? Is he still
exactly.
Brand ambassador?
Raptors brand ambassador, OVO. He's not gonna. First of all, they're not gonna put the jersey up for a minute because he's still playing. So it's not like you're gonna retire it. Like Vince retired X amount of years and then they put him.
Vince actually retired in 2020.
Right. So it was like 3 years later when they put up his jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So and DeMar's still playing right now for the Sacramento Kings. So when he retires, if he retires sometime soon, probably sometime soon.
Drake,
no offense to him, but
you're gonna rip that down.
I don't know. Yeah, because if he started in 2009 in Toronto, I imagine he's going to be retiring within the next 5 years. Because how many people are doing 20 years in the league?
Your knees are trash, bro. What?
Yeah, the knees are gone. LeBron, I don't know how LeBron is still there, but that like the cold therapy sessions must be doing well for that man because he's still out there
Italy,
with
just like Kobe did.
Jesus. But okay, I wanted to let everyone take a moment and prepare themselves for the insanity of this documentary that Skinny and I.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it for the next 4 years, but yeah, this documentary.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Because LeBron's been in the league since 2003, so he's on his 21st season.
How long did Michael do without no breaks?
Oh, not even that long.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you are the greatest. Okay, I give him that. Fine.
Not even. That.
I'm not wearing your shoes though. I'm wearing your shoes, nigga.
Okay, Skinny.
Nigga, you freaky. This shit is fucked up.
I sent Skinny a link. I sent Skinny the title of a docuseries that I was watching because Skinny being the only parent in the crew, I was just like, I need Skinny's take on this wild ass series because I don't know what to So the series is called Social Studies. It's a 5-part docuseries about LA teens in the age of social media. So it's a bunch of junior Gen Z, like young Gen Z. It was filmed in 2021 until I guess recently because it seems like they go through, at least from what I saw, because I watched the whole thing, it looks like they go all the way from freshman to graduation for some of them.
Damn.
Yeah. So you saw the second episode. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
I watched it with the mother of my children as well, and we were both like, "All right, so cutting back on screen time, cut all this shit." Like, there's so much. I
remember hearing that they said you should only let your kids start using screens or at least a tablet or a phone like that when they're 12.
Okay, here, let me tell you something.
That's impossible.
The niggas who wrote that don't have kids.
Yeah,
fuck them people. All right, you try that.
I'm sure it's impossible because your kids have friends.
Yeah. No.
Hey, I don't want you watching that scary cartoons and stuff like that. Okay, hey mom, I'm gonna go to a sleepover. Okay, go ahead. Scary cartoons, cartoons.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a scary cartoon. It's just
you know what I mean. Just anything your parents ban in the house.
Just like people playing with like Barbies and literally just unboxing Barbies, and you know it's a grown adult, but they're just not showing their face, so it's just like their hands and like it's just really weird stuff, man. Like a lot of cringy fetish stuff. But these kids, boy, wow, these 16-year-olds, man.
I
have a few favorites, and I have a few that I'm almost like, oh, I'm going to want to smack you when you rule the world later.
Is this similar to like watching the movie Kids?
Nah, because the movie in the movie Kids, it was 13. Only. Brian, you'll agree with me. In the movie Kids, it was only AIDS that were going to get them. In this one, it's multiple like links of stupidity and just all sorts of. Oh my god!
Kids is only AIDS.
It's only AIDS.
Boogeyman's only AIDS.
I understand what he means. In the movie Kids, the threat is, as much as they're like running around being teens, it's the fact that one of them has AIDS and the fact that within the group they're being active. So there's a threat that others in the group might get it and they would spread it.
Right.
Whereas when you're watching this documentary, and I'll read one of the comments, the sheer volume of what Greenfield show teens being up to will scare any parent more than any blood and guts show Ryan Murphy can come up with.
Facts. Facts.
And as someone who watched it, first off, one of the things that bothered me about the show so much was the fact that there's one teen on the show who is committing multiple crimes on camera with his father there.
Yeah.
And telling his father he's committing crimes.
Yeah.
The kid Jack.
Oh, Jack, I want to smack him, bro. Like,
Skinny, you
this
realize
guy throws a party, has wild alcohol, but tells people like it's smart. But he's like, tell the kids don't bring it in like a visible bottle. So you like all those like canteen baba bottles from like when you go to Cuba, you can bring it in that, you'll be fine. He hires a security. I love this part. Security robs.
He has money to hire security.
Security robbed him.
Wait, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with everything you're describing.
Such a stupid kid.
One, why is an underage person allowed to sign for a space, a venue?
The same reason why he's driving his dad around in a BMW.
I just don't one of the things I didn't understand was where's the legal? If I own a venue, how am I letting a 17-year-old be liable? A 17-year-old can't be held liable for the venue.
How much did that 17-year-old pay you?
No, I know, I get it, but he's not even he's signing contracts to have venues rented out.
I don't think there's a law that says a 17-year-old can't have a venue, but
rent a venue.
The 17-year-old cannot serve alcohol at the venue. I'm sure there's
can a 17-year-old here's my thing. Can minors rent venues and take the liability of the venue? That's the priority.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was
okay.
You don't remember the underage clubs that we had back in our day, man?
So no. But
those were illegal. They weren't legal clubs. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying if you're a teen and you have to rent a venue for your grad, for your prom and all that, that's usually a prom committee that does it, and then they go and blah 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 blah. They work out and all, because they want you to learn how to do
signing
all that
the contracts and stuff. Okay,
so
that's true. There were groups that
sure
did
there's
that.
a teacher to kind of chaperone you and help you, but
that's
you're the one still kind of, here's the budget, this is what you get to do, or you did a you did a fundraising, hey, we washed some cars here and did that, and then now this is the money we have, this is how much we could spend, yada yada. So I don't think there's, I don't think you need to be a legal adult to rent stuff. You just have to make sure you have the money, and then whoever is a co-signer on that, I'm pretty sure there's that going on.
Well, just take that and factor in lots of money and where they are in America, and yeah, you got your answer, Brian.
I don't know. I just watching him rent a venue, promote the venue, hire security, no the tax evasion stuff, the cash stuff, the alcohol. There's so many laws being broken, and the fact that the documentary starts by saying you will see minors committing crimes in the series, and I'm just like, I don't understand how this works. It's like.
And to me, I do understand, that's messed up, and blah, blah, blah. But if you listen to your parents or your grandparents talk about when they were growing up as teenagers, and they tell you about how they were drinking back when they were 15, 16, and smoking.
Yeah, but they didn't have cameras on them.
Exactly. They didn't have cameras on them. And
that was confided to them and their 3 friends, bro.
Remember Freaknik? Remember that documentary Freaknik coming out soon? And people don't want their faces shown.
Oh, Freaknik's already out, by the way. I've seen the Freaknik documentary.
I've seen it. It wasn't that good.
Lives destroyed.
It was good.
I was just I wasn't saying it as I drank when I was underage. Everyone drank when they're underage. We just didn't. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's just that
I was lame. I was lame.
Okay. Well, if you felt that, if you never, but it's more a factor of throwing Project X like parties, hiring security, posting all of this on social media. It's not even that the cameras are going to be there. They were already posting about these illegal parties in advance. Yeah, and that's
you already know about the the kids that rob people, and then they post all that stuff on social media, and the cops making this too easy. This is too easy. Come on.
I guess that's the thing that also throws me, the fact that this stuff is illegal and they're just posting everything. Even without the documentary, they posted everything, all their stories.
They might have to kill their phone batteries though. They're like, okay, so you're gonna have to screen record this entire. I'm like, that's my battery, B. What do you mean? You buy me a new phone, right?
Skinny, do you remember the girl who did the party with Jack, and the entire time they record her, she's just lying in her bed. She's just laying backwards. She's laying back on the bed talking to the camera, not sitting up, just on the bed playing with her doll while she's on the bed
I do
talking.
vaguely remember that. Yeah. There's too many weird kids that I was just like, oh man, like there. Okay, episode 1 was more like worrisome because of that Sydney girl. I'm just like, nope, just nope, nope, nope.
Sydney was the funniest character to me because okay, so I said I was gonna do this, Skinny. So you watched only the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, that's perfect.
And because you haven't finished it, so I don't want to spoil it. But I'll just ask you questions, and I'll see if you can guess what happens.
And you can, yeah, okay.
What's one of the questions?
Jeez.
How do you think there is a teen pregnancy?
Well, I know a homie and his girl got pregnant. The dude with the shoes who looks like Sideshow Bob. Black Sideshow Bob got pregnant. So
Keyshawn.
That's the worst black name ever. I'm sorry. I loved all the black names, but Keyshawn was literally like K-E-Y. Stop it, bro.
Yeah,
like,
Keyshawn was.
I don't. Keyshawn
was a mess. Keyshawn
was a mess.
So one of my comments about the documentary that I'm a little annoyed about was how much and. God,
Real quick. Did you ever watch The Shy?
A little bit, not a lot.
Hey, you know the character in the show in the first season who's obsessed with shoes?
Yeah.
Tell me that's not Keyshawn.
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I watching The Shy? Like, wait, hold on. That's
and I'm actually happy you said that because one of my main complaints I would say about the documentary was how either the director or the editor really stuck to stereotypes for the different groups. Like it was kind of annoying. Like
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm about to see it.
Yeah, because I mean, spoiler, but it's a minor one in the sense of like archetypes. The like white girl, there's like a white blonde girl. Her whole story is about her trying to get into like an Ivy League school, and her story is just her working too hard and being in too many projects and stressing her out. And
is that the one that's been on social media since she was 7?
No.
Or is that the girl who keeps getting, or is that the girl who keeps Ivy?
Yeah, Ivy's the girl you were talking about. She's on social media since she was 7. Her parents broke up. Her mom is a Trump supporter. Her dad, her sibling is trans and is going through transition throughout the series.
Hold on, wait up.
Oh, sorry.
Didn't get there yet. All right.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was in the second episode. Anyway,
no, they just focus more on the racist part where there's one girl who's like, yeah, I'm rich and I'm white. And
yes,
that's not cool anymore. I'm almost like, hey, yo, you're going to be
Watch out. So that's my thing. The show does this thing where it's like, okay, here are your white teens. The white teens are mostly part of like either wealthy and living their best lives, and they just get to go about doing things the way they want to. Mommy and daddy buy them a car. Mommy and daddy take care of everything. They don't have to worry about anything. The standard thing with the white kids was body issues, body dysmorphia. A lot of body dysmorphia comes with the white kids conversation. But then with the kids of color, the kids from the LGBTQ community,
Anthony, Ellie, Sean,
and was Dwayne the Latino kid who's gay?
Yeah,
but like their stories, it felt like it was like black. Okay, we're gonna have one teen pregnancy. Black, but the parents went to an Ivy. Your whole thing is going to be about being an outsider. You're the black kid who's in white spaces. So this is going to be your entire story.
Yeah, that's the girl who's always on IG with those wild outfits who used to do to Washington.
Shit! No, I'm not even talking about her. You're right. There's two. So there's 2 black girls. I'm talking about black girl they introduced way later, but the black girl you're talking about, she actually had black friends though. At least,
like you find out you freaky. That's where that comes
from. Her story is kind of like so. Her story is actually very interesting because she's felt more like not spoil it, but she felt more like the black kid who grew up in a religious house but just wants to be a teen. So you know how like all of us like I even dated a girl like this. Like shout out to Isabel, but Isabel was
out there. Go on.
Isabel knows who she is. She knows the life she led. Isabel's mom was super religious, super strict. She had to do piano lessons and all this stuff. And whenever if she could go out with her friends, it was it was like turn out, get crazy, like the shortest skirt she could wear, and she and not to complain, like let her live her best life, let her live in her freedom, let her live in her comfort, but like it was that intense level of control that meant as soon as she could be free, she's not under the all viewing eye, she is going to do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And that's how that character is in the show. So I've seen that archetype. And to be honest, that archetype isn't necessarily a black girl thing. That applies to most women. Yeah. But the thing that bothered me is they didn't apply that archetype with any of the other girls. It was the black girl who only gets that story of being the one who has like quote unquote hood friends, hoochie friends, talking about like, oh, I sent my mom a screen cap and it had the squirt emoji. And my mom was like, what's that? And you're like, oh Lord, like, why are we having only the black kids have that conversation? Yeah. Whereas like over here, all the white kids are worried about which college they're getting into. And that's the main focus for their stories.
The one kid, before I go, the one kid who I want to see again is that chick with the weird name who basically did some bad stuff to her best friend, and now this girl's like stalking her and always calling her a snake. And I was like, yo, just run up on this girl, bro. Like, you go to a party, the girl's talking about you.
This person that you don't
like she'll be like
face to face.
She'll be standing there, she'll be like, oh, she just bumped me. Like, I must like turn around and run her down. What are you doing?
Homie. Anyways. Honestly, and one of the other things that the documentary does really poorly, they don't loop all the stories.
Of course,
like what you're talking about,
it doesn't happen.
I don't think you ever see a resolution to that.
Well, don't introduce it into the first episode.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, the documentary. So
who edited this? I need to check this guy out.
The documentary is called Social Studies. If you want to see a highly edited, curated glimpse into teens, almost like
only show you the worst parts,
but
they show you
they show you the parts that are very. First of all the kids in the series seem like they're nepo babies or connected already, which was annoying because I was just like, I don't want to watch a show about kids already in the industry. But I guess that's the nature
of Hills 90210.
Not really,
dude,
but like
California Dreams.
Yeah, almost more California Dreams. More like, City Guy mixed with that.
Skinny, I don't know if you found out, but one of the girls in the show is the ex-girlfriend
of Homeboy who's in It. Yeah, I caught that today. Halfway.
Yeah.
Of what?
Like, one of the girls in the show is the ex-girlfriend of Jack Glazer, who was in It, who was in the Shazam movies, who was in, like, he had his own TV series at one point with John Larroquette. It got canceled, but it's like his ex-girlfriend who already went viral is part of the show, and the entire show is about her being in toxic relationships with men.
That first dude needs to. What is wrong with this?
Also, can we take a moment? Why are there so many 20-year-olds dating 17-year-olds in the show?
That's been a thing since we were kids, dog. You know.
No, but not even just men. It was the Keyshawn gets a 20-year-old pregnant. He's 17.
I mean.
That's why, like, when I found out she was 20 in the show, I was just like, wait, how old is Keyshawn? And I had to go back to the first episode. I was like, Keyshawn's 17? I'm like, yo, Keyshawn. I get Keyshawn being irresponsible. He's a 17-year-old teen. 20-year-old girl says, I'm down. But, like, girl, I know you're not the only one, and he is old enough to know better. But also, you are literally the adults in that room.
Babe, I love you.
Remember, a lot of people in their early 20s, they ain't their maturity
They're not there.
I mean, they still high school in the head. They still still right there.
High school Jace, yeah.
But yeah, so the documentary is kind of wild.
The toxic guy, man. I need to talk about him and how, like, what, you don't want your mom and your sister to know that you love me.
Oh, Julian?
Listen, Julian needs to get dropped. Juju needs to get dropped.
Julian is the most dude. Yeah. Watching her interact with him and knowing that he is a toxic human being, and then seeing what happens later. Fantastic. But
you can tell that she's not even there when she's talking to him. She's like, okay, dude. Yeah, bye. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're fed up. Like,
but also,
like when you've been in that position where the girl's been fed up with you, and then you see that shit, you're like, oh snap, yo, boy, if you don't stop, man. Dude.
But not even just that. Sometimes you're the one who's fed up. Like, I've been in situations where I'm like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Why are you still texting me?
Remember, what's his name? Robin Thicke, and he had that album Paula, and he put the music video together, Gotta Get Her Back, and he's putting the text messages, and the text messages are clearly his ex-wife being like, yeah, whatever, doesn't care. And you're like, oh, she gone. She comes back, man. That's it. That's done. That's done.
Yeah. Ellie watching Sydney, watching Keyshawn, Jack. Like the Jack stuff really bothered me because that boy was just committing crimes, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I get it, but like, you made a documentary where you are just committing crimes, like, not even just
not the lawyers,
like tax evasion. Like, this dude is making cash and hiding money, like, and showing you that he's playing with it.
He'll have a high position at like Amazon one day.
I know, that's the thing that drove me crazy.
Your job is to hide the money because you gave us this great documentary as your CV.
He probably funded the doc straight up.
And then, you know, a lot of the thing is watching the characters not mature, which is also funny because there's one girl who literally does this thing to her friend that gets her in trouble with a friend and leads to trouble early on. And then at the end of the series is her getting threatening messages from a girl because she did the exact same thing again. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, now I get technically you are allowed to do what you did, but the fact that you did that shit twice and you don't understand why that was problematic.
I hope she just looks at the camera and does like, like
that's like,
I don't know.
It was wild.
Circle comes and it closes like, whoop, that'd be great.
It was wild.
I'm gonna go watch episode 3 because there was a school shooting.
Oh yeah. Anyway, dude. We speaking of shootings, we're gonna.
That's sorry. We're not super insensitive.
No, but we'll pivot to Penguin.
Hey,
there we go.
Yeah, all right.
There we go. Bong. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check out The Penguin on HBO, I don't know what to tell you because you should definitely be checking it out. I'm not going to do a long recap because hopefully you guys have been watching it, but I got to say it's been a little crazy. And Jaws, do you mind if I spoil something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So just a heads up, just a reminder, you know what, maybe I'm going to put it on the screen because I don't want people to start getting mad at us saying that we don't remind people when we're spoiling things. So I'm just going to put spoilers. It's on the screen. We're spoiling something. So I've always said to people that if you like The Penguin, the version of The Penguin I'm seeing on the show is not as evil as the version I've seen in the comic book. And people were just like, what are you talking about? Like, how much more evil could the Penguin be? I'll be honest with you. In the comic book, there's a story where, like, I'll say it this way. I don't even have to tell the whole story. The Penguin runs in the type of circles where he does human trafficking. Like, we're talking like Epstein level criminal. Like, he's doing that type of shit. Right. He's a horrible person. He's a monster. So when I was watching the show, I was just like, okay, the show hints at him being really bad. He does some horrible things. I didn't think it was going to get this bad. And when we get to this last episode that I saw this past weekend, where you find out what happened to the Penguin's siblings, Jack and Benny, and you find out that they died because he locked them in a sewer and left during a rainstorm to go home to his mom to watch a movie because he wanted to be alone with the mom. He let his brothers die is one of the craziest things I've ever seen to balance out what they had done. You didn't make him as evil as you did in the comic book before, but then you made him what seems significantly more evil to me when you find out that he's murdered siblings. It's crazy. So, I don't know. Oh, I can't hear you, Jaws. Yeah.
Sorry, I muted myself. He said basically, I want to hang out with mom alone. Got him.
Dude, the siblings were at the house. You get a scene where you see them all interacting. Oswald already has the thing on his leg, because he has the bad leg.
Mm.
The siblings are running around. The mom gets up and starts playing with the siblings after Oswald has asked her to do something with him. She says later, but then she starts getting up and playing with the siblings. So maybe he gets jealous. Yeah. I didn't pick up on that at first. My partner's the one that pointed out, well, he's probably jealous. That's why he was annoyed. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
And you're the one with siblings. What the hell?
I know, but I didn't think, because you know what? The reason I've never been jealous of if my parents interacted with my sibling. I've never thought like, oh, that's not fair that you're giving my sibling more attention than me in this moment. I've always been like, oh, that's okay. You've spent tons of time with me then. You spend tons of time with them now. We spent tons of time together. So it didn't dawn on me. I guess I got lucky, is what I'm saying. Because I didn't have
evil. That's what it means.
Yeah, that too. Mom sends the eldest son, Jack, on an errand, tells her to take the two younger brothers, Oswald Cobblepot and Benny, with her. He goes, he does the errand. Then they go play in their usual play, the Hideout, which is like an underground metro subway station. And when they get to the subway station, they play flashlight tag. Flashlight tag is just when all three of them have flashlights. And when he hits you with the flashlight, he's caught you. They make him go first. The other two go hide. And he finds them. They go into a section of the sewer that they're not supposed to go into because Oswald can't get there because of his leg brace.
Right.
That's kind of the rule. Don't go to that section because Oswald can't get over there easily.
Yeah.
So when they go down further into the sewer below the subway, which they have to take the ladder. So it's like Ninja Turtles type sewer ladder.
Right.
And Oswald gets mad and he's just like, you guys aren't supposed to do that. It's not fair. I can't get down there. Forget it. So he runs off. He gets mad. He closes the door because there's like a door to the overflow. Closes the door and leaves. And I kept thinking, no, he's not going to leave his siblings locked in the sewer. Homie,
they cheating. Got to pay the rules. Got to pay the price for cheating.
And this, to me, I was just like, got it. You've now introduced a version of the Penguin I understand. This is... You made him more palpable for us early on, because if you started off by showing us that he murders kid, like he was a kid himself, but he's such a jealous asshole that he would murder his own siblings, the show doesn't work because I don't think anyone would want to watch. There's nothing redeeming about that.
Right.
Whereas if you're showing us at the end, now that he has to be the monster he needs to be to survive against his opposition, it's kind of like, oh, we're going to paint the picture as to how evil and how corrupt he is.
Yeah.
So is it done well? I don't know, because I still don't know if I love the show. I didn't find this episode to be as good as the other episodes. I find the episodes that focus on Sophia, the other character played by Kristen Milotti, to be more interesting so far. So I don't know. Colin Farrell's doing a good job. The acting is good, but kind of the way things are going, like the fact that Oswald survived because someone had a heart attack in one scene, I was kind of like, that's kind of lame, but all right. Anyways.
Do you feel that it's better if Sophia is played by an actual like big strong woman, or like,
no? I think I mentioned this when you weren't here, but I'll acknowledge it again. I was wrong. I do often want to see an original, like Sophia depicted the way she's supposed to look, kind of like a Cara Dune from Star Wars there. But if you're not going to do that, that's fine. It's just that this is 2 times we've had live action versions of Sophia, and both times we got significantly smaller women playing the role. And in the comic book, she's not that small. So I was disappointed. But I got to say, when I watched the show, these actors, not the Gotham one again, but Kristen is fucking home runs. So like I said to a friend of mine, the show should be like what is it? La Coca Nostra, like
Costa Nostra.
Yeah, Costa Nostra.
If I'm even saying it right.
but like the show should be about
yeah,
like
I think that's
her being a mafia daughter and a mafia don, as opposed to Penguin. But they needed Penguin because Penguin is the lead-in from the movie.
Right.
But if I'm being honest, the show and the movie don't feel like they're in the same universe many, many times. So, it is what it is. I still think the show should just focus on her. And if you were going to do a second series, I would love her to star in it. But I don't see how you do that and still end his show well. So,
yeah.
But there goes the spoilers. No more spoilers. But check out the Penguin. Yeah, check out the Penguin. You came back. How was your trip?
It was good. I went out to Baltimore for TFCon Baltimore.
Bong bong.
It was pretty awesome. We had Frank Welker there, the big voice of Megatron. But, I think some people might already know this if they're, Googling him and everything like that. He also does the voice of Scooby-Doo, Fred. Yeah. So that's a big deal. A lot of people came down with stuff for him to sign for that.
That's cool.
The other guests that were out there, Bumper Robinson was there. He voiced
you were saying
Bumblebee and Blitzwing and Blackout from Transformers Animated.
Right.
Doug Parker was there and played Cherosaur and Starscream in Beast Wars and Tidal Wave in Transformers Armada. Like I said before, Frank Welker, Jeremy Levy, Jessica Di Giovanni. Let's see here. Just trying to make sure. Travis Arts, Xavier, Paul Cato was also there. All these people were characters in Transformers Cyberverse. Michael Bell was there from G1, who played Prowl, Sideswipe, Bombshell, Brainstorm, First Aid Scrapper, Swoop, and also voiced the majority of your childhood. Like if you were watching any cartoon from like the 80s and 90s, Michael Bell most likely played a character in there. So like he was Duke in G.I. Joe. He was Handy Smurf in the Smurfs, Lance in Voltron. He was in Snorks.
Okay.
I like saying Snorks.
Yeah.
So it was really good. A very big turnout. A lot of people that's like either their first TFCon or their first convention ever. And a lot of fun was had. Bob Budiansky was there, one of the main people that helped flesh out all the Transformers. Z Infinite. I'm sorry if I didn't get that name right. Played Nightshade in Transformers Earthspark. Michael Charles Hill, who also wrote a lot of episodes of Transformers. Aaron Archer, who's also a toy designer, were there. Alex Mill, Andrew Griffith, Casey Collar, Josh Perez, Manny Galen, Mark Watts, Richard Marks. All these artists were also there. So it was a big event. It was very fun. And yeah, it was busy.
I can only imagine. Whenever you go to these, it always sounds fantastic. Hopefully people can get to check it out. Do you know where 2025 is going to be held?
In LA.
Oh, wow. Cool. Okay.
Sorry. So the East Coast one is going to be in Chicago.
Okay.
And then the one for spring is LA again, if I remember right.
Cool. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Folks, go check it out. And
then also in summertime, it's in Toronto, Mississauga area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the one you guys always go to. Mm-hmm. If you guys are looking for ideas for speaking conventions for your favorite nerds, Montreal Comic Con does their Christmas kind of mini con. They're going to be doing it December 7th and 8th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm double checking now because shout out to Ness who sent me the link earlier today. But yeah, so they're going to be coming through. They do the mini con. I did say this honestly last time because some people were asking me how was Comic-Con last year, and I did have some trepidations with how some of the stuff went last year because of how media was treated. But ultimately, I do have a lot of fun at Comic-Con. So if you are a fan of going to Comic-Con, the mini con in December, which is free entry, is where you can also buy your advance tickets for Comic-Con in July. And there's usually a huge discount when you buy them this far in advance. So I would highly recommend if you are interested in going to Montreal Comic-Con to come through on December 7th and December 8th. And it's held at Palais des Congrès like they usually do. So... Okay. Yeah, that's and then make sure you stay connected to the show. Keep watching to find out about more events that are going on. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in to another edition of GeekCypha. Jaws, what do you want to tell the people?
I want to tell the people to check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer, and they're both on YouTube.
Bong bong, guys. That's the whole thing. I didn't have an episode of The Dumbest Timeline this past week, and unfortunately, I will not be having an episode this coming week, but I'll be coming back the week after that. So you can expect one at the towards the end of November, and then there will probably be the last few in the series because this is like I said, this kind of is a shorter series on AI, and And if you want, you can go back and listen to all the episodes and watch the slow progression of my descent into sadness over how much AI is fun, but ultimately not anywhere near as good for the world as I had once hoped. At least what we're calling AI, which is one of the major points of the series. What we're calling AI and what AI actually are two very different things. So,
Ouroboros.
yeah. So we'll be back with another one soon, y'all. Peace, everybody.
Peace.